wonderful humans, happy Wednesday. Today, I will be doing Top 5 Wednesday. Top 5 Wednesday and the group on Goodreads was created by Lainey. I will link her channel and the group down below. This week's topic is Top 5 Favorite Character Tropes. A trope is used to describe a commonly used literary theme. As pertaining to characters, it would be anything that's really overused that you see in mostly YA, but in other literature as well. I found this very easy because I like a good amount of cheesy, predictable literature in my life. I mean, not all the time, but sometimes it's good. So I have a few character tropes that I really enjoy in literature that a ton of other people don't. So to get started, my 5th favorite character trope in literature would be the cool teacher mentor. This, you actually don't see too much in literature. You see it more so in like film and television, but it is really present in society. And that is just a teacher that is very present in the characters' lives and that really makes an impact on them that they really connect with. Some people think this is kind of like, it's whatever, but I've had teachers in my life that were mentors to me and made an impact on my life. So I like to see it in books because I like knowing that other people have that type of experience. An example of this would be in Matilda. Both the movie and the book, of course, would be Miss Honey. She kind of takes Matilda under her wing, recognizes her intelligence, tries to put her on a better path than what she's on. Another really good example of this that I just read recently in a book was in The True Diary of a Part-Time Indian, I think it's called, and there's a teacher named Mr. P, and our main character Junior is kind of stuck on the reservation, and Mr. P kind of, tries to get his life going down a different track, and Mr. P is really the big influence in Junior's life. So I really love seeing that trope. It is also usually pretty good for plot advancement because I find the mentor teacher is usually in there to guide them on a different path, which always ups the plot a little bit. So I love that one. Number 4 is probably the most present trope in all of literature, and that is the brooding boy. I don't know why. I will never, ever be done with, be sick of a brooding boy in a book. I mean, you can pick a name of a book out of a hat and there'll probably be a brooding boy in it, but for this one I have like Holden Caulfield from Catcher in the Rye. One of my favorites is Louis from Interview with the Vampire by Anne Rice. Very good character, even though he's super broody and super like tropey, still on point. And since you now know about my secret love for Twilight, Edward Cullen, of course, the most broody of all. I think Stephanie Meyer's like most used word in that frickin' book is brooding, because Edward's he's just brooding all over the place. That's all he does. It's his number 1 interest. Number 3 for me is the loner introvert character that only has one friend. I know that's like kind of specific, but there are tons of examples of this. There is Jacob from Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. He has his one friend Ricky. Obviously he makes more friends later, but a little bit of the first book is just his life with his one little friend and how that is. Another one is Colin in An Abundance of Catherines by John Green. He has his friend, I think his name is Hassan. And then again, the absolutely true diary of a part-time Indian. The main character Junior has his one friend Rowdy. This has a place in my heart because I was an absolute loner. I'm still an introvert. I have more than one friend now, but growing up, I had my one friend, Erin. She's a beautiful little human, and I'm still friends with her. But she was just like my one friend, so I connect with that. I connect to that bond that I see in a lot of literature. My all-time second favorite character trope is definitely the goofy best friend. This also kind of goes hand in hand with my last one because they usually overlap quite a bit, but I'm all for a good piece of comic relief in a novel, especially when it's a serious novel. And I find that, especially in a lot of YA, especially from a male's point of view, there's almost always a goofy best friend there to give some comic relief and kind of void some tension, which is always good for me. Examples of this are like Earl in Me and Earl and the Dying Girl, H from Ready Player One, over the internet, but still a present goofy best friend, still cracking jokes, providing comedic relief. Probably my favorite goofy best friend, at least for me, is Denny in Choke by Chuck Palahniuk. Great character. Great character development, but just overall a really goofy, really funny character, and I just love that trope because I love having a good amount of appropriate comic relief in my novels. So now for my all-time favorite character trope. This one's gonna seem kind of dark, kind of morbid, but this is the missing or deceased parents. I know that it's really sad, and I wouldn't wish it upon anyone, but I do like to see it in books because I do find that characters who are lacking a parental figure or their parents are deceased really show a lot of strength of character. And I know it's really cheesy and it's super common, again, like it's just everywhere, because I think it's a really easy place to go to for kind of plot crisis and character crisis, and a really easy taking off point for character development, but I still really like to see it. Some examples of this are like Sookie Stackhouse in the True Blood series, Elena from the Vampire Diaries, and even just kind of like not really present, but Kirsten from Station 11, and how she just kind of talks about how her brother and her had to become stronger once her parents weren't there, and how the lack of that kind of made her stronger, which is really great character development, I think, and was just a really good splash of something in her profile to really make you understand her and what she is like. So I think that this trope is really, really important, and it is overdone, but it can contribute a lot to character development and character history. So I really, really love that character trope. All right, guys, that's it for me today. I will go check out your Top 5 Wednesday videos if you posted some. If not, leave me a comment down below as to what your favorite character tropes are, because I think we all have at least a few that we can still hold in our hearts, even though we know that they're overdone and probably a little bit horrible. Just a little bit on the horrible side. As always, you can find me on Twitter, Goodreads, and Tumblr. I will leave the links down below in the doobly-doo. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your week, and I will see you in the next one.